So for me, since getting diagnosed, I've made sure to talk to my family members.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the rest get to it, ain't taking no slack, get to it. You take a loss, try to start back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Do it like a pro, won't make it do it. Nigga ain't meant to it, ain't no count, ain't no excuse, let's get to it. Hey. I don't care what they talking, all I want is my Porsche. I'ma ride up clean, look at me, I'm a force, kill them off like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it. All about my profit. Shooting off like a rocket. Who got the bloody niggas out the water? He go hard and go hard. Steph Curry fourth quarter. All I got is my niggas. All I fear is my ball. All I bring is that slaughter. Bomb on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he alive. If he real, who am I? Got his ass in the fire. If you can't till I die, please don't cross the line. Try to stop trying. Boom, show me small fire. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Never time to believe. You ain't humping me, just I'm real old. I'm in it. So I ain't moving with precision. Follow every order tip. Let's get to it. Make it on the shit, get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You take a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. I'm undisputed like a proof. One more, make it do it. Nigga ain't up to it. Ain't no cows, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Hear the truth of the speakers. Y'all ain't here for no reason. You probably don't understand. That's why I got the master plan. And all the power in my hand. Send the shit on demand. You better watch where you stand. Get framed up and then chained up for nobody. They're warfare, what you know about? This ain't a rap, it's a message. Ain't a way to be respected. Fake niggas like a virus. Lot of niggas infected. I came to correct. Bought a whole bunch of souls. Stay moving my discretion. When the rebels in the engine, all the niggas in the exit. Them niggas get the sprint. I'll be mad at your attention. Sorry, nigga, I ain't folding. Plus, you know a nigga hold it. Nigga, look how I'm rolling. Short check by the minute. Pieces move on the clean. Flow like Aquafina. Hit a run and Serafina. Yeah. I got it deliver about to have a baby. But I still wanna breathe. Let's get to it. Let me come through a dream. I'm strictly dead. I'm all about the business. Rock y'all in every list. You came to make friends. I came to make killing. That's why I'm gonna kill it. Many niggas hurt. That's why I'm fishing, nigga. You need to hit it. I know you can hear it. I'ma bet you a rookie. Kanye, you a Donald Trump on the pussy. I'ma kill you a cookie. Ain't nothing you can tell me. I'm too ready. Let's get to it.
Practice, not a game, not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? When we're talking about practice.
That's no that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not too.
Shalom, Israel. This is Officer Durak of the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yohana. Started out at 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Let me start off by giving my brothers a salute. Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakathon. Now I want to give my sisters a salute. Shalom Yahweh Ilathon by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Today's topic is, why can't we marry into the other nations? Which there's a very good reason why we can't marry into the other nations. Let me start off by saying it's a law not to. We were specifically commanded by the Most High not to marry into the other nations. But you know, this is the I.S.U.P.K. We just don't go by our word. We open this book and read what this book says because this is our guidance. This is what guides us on our decisions. So let's start off with Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 4. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 4. For they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. Will the anger of the Lord be kindled? Salakia, give me 1 minute. I got to get a little better lighting over here. All right, let's start that again. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 4. For they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. So there it is there. If you marry into the other nations, the women, or if you're a woman and you married a man, they're going to influence you to serve their gods that they serve, which is, let's say, like Christianity, which is wood. You're serving a cross. You're serving a cross, and it's a lie. Christianity is a cult because they embrace the lie. They know Mashiach is not white, but they embrace that fact. It was put up in churches everywhere. They just recently took it down because they were embracing the lie. They embraced the lie that the statute, laws, and commandments is done away with. And that's a lie. That is just a straight out lie. I don't even understand how they get away with it. Well, I understand how they get away with it because people don't read these scriptures for themselves. They're trusting the wrong people. The people that they're trusting, their pastors, is wolves in sheep's clothing because they're using these scriptures for their own self-gain. They're not trying to save anybody because if they truly were trying to save people, they would tell them that the only way they could get blessed is to bless Israel, which is the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But as you see, they don't bless us. They don't bless us. Every chance they get, they bash us. Whenever one of our people commits a crime, it's highlighted. When their FBI does their analysis to look for a serial killer, they're looking for a white guy. That's why they had such a hard time finding the brother in DC that was riding around in the car shooting everybody because he didn't fit their profile. He was the X factor. He was outside the norm. But they want to paint us as the normal psychopath, which is if you just look at history, you could tell that's a lie. They've been psychopathic killers from day one. Murder, take, might, will, divine destiny. Like the book says, Esau will live by the sword, and that's what he does. He lives off the fattest of the land. You know, they have resorts everywhere: New Zealand, Hawaii, the Bahamas, the Caribbean. They have military bases everywhere. Everywhere. And all of their origins is from the Caucasus Mountains. That's why Donald Trump was so buddy with the Russians, because he know that's his ethnic homeland. And let's say if you marry an East Indian, they got all kind of gods. You know, ain't no telling what that woman gonna have you doing. You know, have you believing what they got, the little thing that they pouring milk on. You know, I forget what they call that thing, but it's one of their main deities. You know, it's supposed to be symbolized Krishna or something like that, some old crazy profound thing that they made up in their mind. You know, or we could go into the Africans. You know, they're into voodoo and all kind of madness and mania. You know, this is what you're drawing yourself into when you marry into the other nations, which takes you out of the safety nets, which the safety net is the law. The law is what's keeps you safe. The statutes, laws, and commandments, they will keep you safe. They will keep you out of harm's way, because you won't be out there doing the other things that the other nations are doing. So let's say, for instance, well, over in Africa, they were all eating those bats. What happened? They came down with Ebola. You know, over there in China, what was it? The last virus that came out. You know, what was it in behind? They said bat juice leaking on armadillos. So you know, we know not to eat this stuff, so it keeps us safe. You know, I mean, you still could catch the virus going around, and brothers have. You know, but just like Job, the Most High tested Job, he'll test you too. You know, are you gonna keep the faith? You know, you keep the faith, hey, he'll make you strong. I've seen it done. I've seen it. I've seen it. We had a brother that came down with the virus, and the Most High and Christ brought him back to full strength. You know, so he had on that full suit of armor, and he's a strong brother in the UPK. Actually, one that I look up to and call for advice. All right, now I want to go to 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 4. First Kings chapter 11, verse 4. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his God, as was the heart of David, his father. Salakia, I'm going to read that again. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart and other gods, and his heart was not perfect. Salakia, one more time. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. So Solomon had over 1,000 wives, concubines, and all kind of stuff. Solomon had women. Solomon was a big old player. But as we read, it wasn't the fact that he had all those wives that was a sin. That wasn't a sin. It was okay for him to have all them wives. And we're reading it right here. The issue was when he got old, they turned away his heart after other gods. He went to making idols and he was doing the most. He was doing whatever those women asked him to do, sacrifices, the whole 9 yards, when he got old, because all he wanted to do was get a hug. He just wanted his back rubbed. So, okay, yeah, I'll rub your back. But, Christmas is coming up, and Solomon went for it. So that's why you don't marry into the other nations. Prime example, we're not better than Solomon. Solomon, was wise. None of us are as wise as Solomon. But those other women got him. Women will have you doing things you thought you would never do. Chasing that booty. Be careful. Be careful with these women. They'll have you doing things that you thought you'd never do. Just trying to hang out. So you got to stay strong. You got to get into the school, learn these statutes, laws, and commandments, and cling to them. They will keep you safe. This book is Sorry Female Repellent. For females, this is Sorry Male Repellent. Because for females, if you get with a brother that's keeping these statutes, laws, and commandments, if he's about that, well, there's nowhere you could go but to the top. All you got to do is have his back and be a true helper and be supportive of him. But now if you get one of these knuckleheads out here with a crack sack and a pistol in his pocket, here in Portland, Oregon, our sisters are dying at an alarming rate riding around with these brothers. We've had 5 sisters at least killed already this year. Sister, keep yourself safe. Get with you a brother that's keeping the statutes, laws, and commandments. Get in the school and get you a brother that's in the school so that he could raise, if you have men, young men, boys, he could raise them up to be mighty men. He can install these statutes, laws, and commandments in them, and they will keep him safe. If you have little girls, you can install these laws and commandments in them, so when they do start courting boys, or a boy is courting them, they're going to make sure that he's about the statutes, laws, and commandments. so that they will be safe, so that they don't get shot in the car riding with him because somebody's trying to kill this youngster, or somebody's trying to rob this youngster, or this youngster can't control his emotions. So now he done flipped out and killed her and her kid, some other man's child. This is our safety net. This book will keep us safe. This is what we need. This is the best guide to getting the Black, Hispanic, and Native American men out of the situation that they're in. Now, Esau don't want you to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. He'll do anything he can to have you break those statutes, laws, and commandments, because he knows that once you start keeping these, his kingdom is over. His kingdom's already fallen as is, just as we speak. You know, it's a kingdom divided. Donald Trump, Biden, Republican, Democrat, what is it? Antifa, Proud Boys. It's a divided country. A nation divided, a kingdom divided cannot stand. You know, so they're doing everything they can to keep us divided. They don't want us to unite. Just think if all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans quit eating pork, do you realize what that would do to the stock market? That would turn the stock market upside down. Or say if we all decided, well, you know, we're not celebrating Christmas and spending our money on a bunch of stuff that's gonna drop 75% in January. We're just not gonna spend our money at all. Do you know what that would do to the sales market? Boy, those prices for things that they're just got us all marked up would just come tumbling down. It's like, well, we got to make it cheaper because they're not buying it. They're just not buying it. We make this economy turn. This economy turns off our backs. Believe that. I mean, they go and reunify our neighborhoods, kick us out, and raise the rent. And they're able to go in there and do that because the property value has dropped so low. And they ain't got nothing but a bunch of money in their pocket that they don't know what to do with. So it's just a continuous pattern. It's been going on for years. Here in Portland is bad. They just completely took our whole neighborhood. We no longer, I mean, we got Black establishments here and there, but as far as like what we used to have, where we had just miles and miles of Black-owned businesses, we no longer have that here in Portland because they take very crafty counsel against us. And they just took everybody's liquor license and they took their licenses that they needed to operate because of things that was going on outside their establishment. But the reason those things were going on outside their establishment is because they quit policing the area. But if we all were about these statutes, laws, and commandments, we wouldn't need them to police us. We would police ourselves. Here in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yohana, we police ourselves. You know, you getting into it with a brother and you guys can't just see eye to eye, we got counsel. You know, and brothers will come in and they'll make a determination and set you straight, you know, and you have to ride with what they come up with, whatever it may be. All right, I want to go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Because I know that a lot of people going to say, oh, that's all Old Testament. That's all Old Testament. Well, let's go a little bit to Matthew and let's see what our king had to say. Because it's a law. You know, a lot of pastors are saying that the laws is done away with. Well, let's see what Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, whoever body ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Let's see what he has to say. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So he's basically saying, like, hey, I ain't come to change no law. I'm not going against nothing. I'm going to say the same thing all the other prophets. I'm going to tell you the same thing they told you. You know, I didn't come to tell you that the laws, you don't have to follow the laws. He came to show us that we can follow the laws. He said, I've come to fulfill. He came to do, to show you, me, and everybody else that yes, you can keep those statutes, laws, and commandments, and that they're not grievous. So saying that the laws is done away with is embracing a lie. And embracing that lie, doesn't matter how much you love that lie, it's not going to turn it into the truth. It's a lie. It is a law not to marry into the other nations. Give you some examples. Look at this brother that's on Creed. He made the movie Creed 3. He did Ant-Man. He had some other movies going on. The brother was on a roll. He doing his thing. You know, his career is really, really taking off. He's married to a white woman. They got into it. Boy, she called with them white girl tears. Everybody quit messing with this man. He ain't even been found guilty. Police rolled up. What did he do to you, daughter? Oh my goodness. And it's just been all bad for that brother. And he's not even been convicted. He ain't even been to trial. Ain't been found guilty. His agent quit him. All the movie producers quit him. Everybody left him. There's a prime example of why you don't marry into the other nations. Look at Kanye West and this thing he got going on with his ex-wife. She running around clowning. They making videos. Her, some other man. This man that tattooed his kids all on his neck. You know, mocking him all on social media. You know, look at Lamar Odom. Look at Lamar Odom. He was so messed up. He in Vegas in a comatose, in a crack comatose, messing with them women. We can even bring it closer to home. I know so many brothers that's in interracial relationship that have lost their warrior spirit. All they want to do is hold hands, go by the campfire. They forgot all about our fight. You know, they up there sitting in the high rise, looking down at us. You're looking down on your people, man. looking down on your people. And then I done seen a lot of them women get rid of them brothers and just go buy another one. Just pull their credit card out like they going to buy a new pair of shoes or something. So hey, you want to stay safe? Listen to what the I.S.U.P.K is telling you. The I.S.U.P.K classes, if you follow what we're telling you, it will keep you safe. It will keep you out of harm's way. Just have patience. Just have patience. Wait, get you a Black, Hispanic, a Native American woman because they know your struggle. They have the same struggle, so they understand. The other nations don't have that struggle. They're not going to understand. So with that, I'm going to go to Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. Leave it to your children forever to make you strong, to eat the good of the land. This will help you live out your number of days. Everybody has a number. Now, when you start deviating from the law, you decrease your number of days. So it's up to you. Do you want to live as long as you were supposed to, or do you want to die at 21, die at 16, die at 50? It's up to you. Colon cancer is caused by pork, shellfish, plugs up your colon, and you get backed up and it turns cancerous for some of it being stuck up in you. That's just, and a lot of men die from colon cancer. So, it's something that, they highlight on the news to take seriously, But like I said, if you're not eating all that stuff, you'll be able to live out your number of days. You don't want to shorten your number of days. You don't want to do that. And then, the thing is, you start marrying them to them, then your kids grow up, if it's a man, the kids would be Israelites and they won't know their history. Here it is now, we don't even know our native tongue. Everybody is speaking English. That's a bastard tongue. People are speaking Spanish. That's a bastard tongue. We don't, you don't know your native language. And your native language is the Lashquash Kadash. The holy tongue is the ancient Hebrew, something that I'm working on learning myself now, but our people don't know their native tongue. They're just rolling with whatever they got, you know. And when it comes to language, I don't even think too many people would consider it. Don't even consider what is my native tongue. They think it's some African language or something. When it's well documented that the Africans sold us into slavery. Speaking of that, they had Akon over there talking about he trying to get as many people to go back to Africa as he can. What? Why? Why would you go back? You know, that's leaving one slave master for the other slave master. You in a no-win situation, man. You know, America is keeping us here and in bondage and keep their foot on our neck is because we make this country great. So Africa wants us to come back over there so that we can make Africa great. No, no, we want our own. We want our land back. We'll wait on our king. Our king has promised us our land. As soon as we get our act together. So that's why we here in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yohana teaching the truth. We're trying to gather our people together and separate so that our king will come back. With that, I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 21, verse 19. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 19. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. So, you know, you got to be careful when you get with some of these women. You know, these women, you know, you'll be bending over backwards trying to do everything you can to make things work, you know. But if she's one of those angry women, you see what the books say, it's better to dwell in the wilderness. Now, just think if you get with a woman from the other nations and she's a bitter woman. Every time you come home, she's got an attitude. She's fussing. She needs care. She wants you to run around and cook and take care of the kids and all this. Then when you say something, she calls the police on you. Police show up. What did he do to you, daughter? Then they looking at you like, oh man, you know, you finna go through the ringer. You finna go through the ringer. They ain't already said what he do to you, daughter. You know, I done seen brothers go from domestic violence incident where they're tussling and arguing with their woman to breaking and entering and assault and end up in 5 years in the penitentiary. Be careful. You know, you mess with Esau's daughter, you better believe they're going to bring the full extent of the law to bear on you. I got a partner. He's in an interracial relationship. Things didn't work out. You know, they went their separate ways. They had a kid. Her mom was a lawyer and her dad was a doctor. So, you know, he paid the max. He paid the max on child support. And they were rich, plenty money. You know, when they got married, they gave him a car and a house. So, you know, they got that old money. So they had plenty of money. So they don't need that much in child support from him. But they went for the max. And of course, he don't get to see his kid. He don't get to see his kid. And his kid's grown up, angry, being taught to hate him. You know, so this is the situation that is already a problem if you're not with the other nations. But when you get with the other nations, it's magnified by 10. Because the other nations don't like it, and you're breaking the law. The Most High and Christ don't like it. So you get double the punishment. With that, I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. Let alone you get with you a Jada Pickett. Woo. Man. Speaking of that, talking about a wicked woman, I mean, she does the most. They had to shut down her TV show because she was being too sexually active on the set. Now, that's just so embarrassing because you think about Will Smith, like, what the heck? What is going on in your household? Then in that house, you know, the daughter wants to be a boy and the son wants to be a girl. What's really going on? Neither one want to be what they are. How chaotic is that? That's madness. That is madness. So, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, in her hands are bands. Whoso pleases God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. See, he's telling you right now, he would suffer more of bitter death. Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy. Suffer more of bitter death than to be with that woman that Dwayne Wade is with. Got his son thinking it's okay. Oh, it's cute to wear dresses. Suffer more of bitter death than to be with Will Smith's wife, Jada Pickett. Son wants to be a girl, daughter wants to be a boy. You know, Kanye West, the woman he was with, the Kardashian, Lamar Odom. The list could go on and on. I could even name some brothers right here in Portland. And it just doesn't necessarily have to be all other nations. It didn't say women from other nations. It said women. So a lot of these Israelite sisters is just evil and wicked. No matter what they tell you, where you could read them these scriptures till they blue in the face and they don't care. You know, the Most High does not want you to be with that type of woman. She will make you weak. He wants you to be strong. All right, so I hope that clarifies some things about the other nations. Don't marry into the other nations. Don't do it. You know, you're gonna lose your warrior spirit. You breaking the law. You're gonna shorten the anytime you break those laws, statutes and commandments, you are shortening your numbers of days. And with that, I'm gonna end this class. Shalom, Israel.